Story 1. My innate optimism allows me to maintain a positive outlook. No matter how happy or sad life events make me, I soon return to my default state of believing that everything will be all right. I never completely lose sight of this perspective, even in difficult times. Story 2. My parents would be devastated if anything happened to me. A part of me still has hope for a future relationship, marriage, and children of my own, so I hold on to that hope. Story 3. Dear everyone, you are wonderful. There will never be another you. You are the most unique thing in the universe. You are worth the help. You are worth love. Read this again. Story 4. A little song I made up that I sing to myself constantly. Every day's a gram of failure. Shaping legacy. Story 5. Buying my dad a gift has been a long-term goal. I want to see his eyes sparkle for once in my lifetime. I also want to provide my mom and dad with a comfortable living before they even think about retiring. They have done enough for me, and now I believe it's my time to give back to them. Story 6. Why do people keep saying husband? What if he dies? That cannot be an emotional reason to live. That puts someone on a pedestal, but one day they may hurt you because they are only human. Story 7. It's just so much fun. Life has been very good to me, and I'm enjoying every day of it for almost 76 years. Story 8. I have many sources of motivation, but my family is at the top. They give me the strength to keep going and remind me to truly enjoy life. Story 9. Life can sometimes feel overwhelming and challenging, but every once in a while, we experience a moment of clarity when everything seems like it will be okay. The sky is clear, the weather is pleasant, and the sun is shining. In that fleeting moment, it all feels right, and it makes the struggles and hardships worthwhile. I am grateful for those brief instances of happiness that remind me to appreciate life. Story 10. The conscious choice I strive to remember is to choose love for all people, for those who love me back and those who do not. I have discovered that not being angry at those who do not love me back, and who may even treat me poorly and disrespectfully, is achieved by putting myself in their shoes. How would I feel if I were that person? It helps me think less of myself and more of others, even to the point of fully denying myself to give more, regardless of what I receive. I used to think that friends would make me happy. Instead, I want to be a friend even to people I do not know. When I see despair, I want to listen to them because I too have been there, and I give advice only when asked. I am still working on that. My mind is always with me. Everything else that happens outside of me is beyond my control. Thus, I find the greatest motivation to live in realizing that I only have control over guarding my senses. After all, what we allow into our minds is what nourishes us. Not friends, because they come and go. Not family, not a job, not anything material. Anything we can lose holds no significance for me anymore. But I can choose, in each moment, who I want to be, though I do not consider myself an example. I am simply striving for my own inner peace. I used to harbor a great deal of resentment when I did not know how to love. I was all about what I want. What keeps me going now is what I want for you. Story 11. A lot of people around me died too soon and lost so much. After so many funerals, I felt foolish for wanting to end my life when there were people who couldn't have more days. Now, I try to live for those who can't. Story 12. It's not a question of what motivates me to keep living. It's more that I have no motivation to end my life just yet. So I continue with the emptiness of existence. Story 13. Nothing really. It used to bother me greatly before taking my medication. My mind demands I find a reason, or else it wants me to end my life. After taking Seroquel, I stopped caring about it. I can't believe I used to live with such a burden inside my head when I could live a little more carefree. Story 14. I'm having the most wonderful time with my children. I had a difficult childhood filled with fear, anger, depression, and insecurity. Now I get to be a parent to these wonderful, creative, sarcastic, witty, and insightful children, experiencing a happy home filled with love. I look forward to waking up every day, and I would freeze time if I could. Story 15. I don't know what happens after we die. If it's just like sleep where we remember nothing, that's terrifying. Story 16. Motion creates emotion. Taking action is the enjoyable aspect. Thinking requires less time and more stimulation. Additionally, Japanese cuisine is delightful. Story 17. As I mentioned earlier, what motivates you to cease living? Answering that question will help you address the issue. Story 18. A lot of fruit has not been eaten, a lot of scenery has not been seen, and many people have not been met. Story 19. My kids are everything to me. My son was born when I turned 22, and I have never looked back. I also have a daughter. They both provide me with all the motivation I need. Story 20. 6 in the morning, summer, birds chirping, a slight breeze through the leaves in the nearby forest, a cup of coffee, and some jogging. Unfortunately, I can't add a joint, but it still works for me, honestly. Story 21. Not wanting to negatively impact my kids, either emotionally or financially. Additionally, curiosity feels like watching a disappointing dystopian science fiction movie. Story 22. That someday I will get married and have children before it is too late. I will be 40 in a few years. I cannot afford adoption if time runs out, so I would have to settle for just a husband and a dog. Though my heart would be sad and heavy for the rest of my life, I still want to see the rest of my family grow. Story 23. I want to experience new things, hear music I haven't listened to, and play games I haven't tried yet. I am constantly striving to become more myself until I truly am me. Story 24. Spite, honestly. Everyone who said I would never make it as a female mechanic just fuels my drive to succeed. Story 25. Nothing motivates me. It's just that if I hit the reset button, the authorities will trouble my family and society will talk more. Story 26. The small light inside me that has never given up, won't give up, and has survived 3 near-death medical complications from a pre-existing condition. I live because when I almost died at 30 years old and my partner committed suicide, I realized that my meaning in life was to snap me out of a worldview that centered on me. This secret was to be of service to others. That is my passion. Emergency medical services, or as my paramedic mentor called it, the worst day of other human service. I live so that I can perform chest compressions on another human whose heart defies external bias, to be bold enough to use Western medicine in an ambulance as a way to keep someone's loved one stable enough to reach the emergency department. Oh, and dogs, I totally live just to be in a world where dogs exist. Story 27. I feel like the song Numb Little Bug. Story 28. My wife is the extension of my life. I don't want to continue living, but because my wife always asks how she would manage if I were gone, I take care of myself as best as I can. Story 29. My daughter. No one could raise her the way I want her raised and care for her the way I do except for me. Ironically, it is postpartum that has me thinking about ending my life multiple times a day. Story 30. Life can be awesome. When it gets tough, there's always something that can lift you back up. Find what works for you. The goal is to have fun and ensure others do too. Story 31. Life has been challenging. I do not want to give up and let all that suffering be in vain. Therefore, I continue to live and hope to do something every day that makes the world a little better. Story 32. The thought that one day I will find a girl who loves me, who wants to be with me, hold me, cuddle me, and will miss me, and the thought that I will feel the same for her. I do not care about money, fame, or success. I just want to be held late at night by someone I love. Story 33. Because if things will get better, I don't want to miss it. I'll die anyway, so I might as well push this little lifetime through. A lifetime on Earth isn't a speck compared to the age of the universe, so I'll stick this one out. Story 34. Right now, there is nothing worth living for, but I still believe that everything will be fine eventually. Story 35. It comes free with my evolution, I guess. Dying and being dead scares me. I'm in no rush to get there. Story 36. I don't particularly care for living, but I stay alive because once you're dead, that's it. You can't change your mind, go back, try again. You're done. It's like dying in a video game where you don't get an extra life, can't start over on a new save, and can't buy video games anymore. That's it. So I stick around in case something interesting happens. I enjoy the times I'm happy and having fun, and I wait out the times I'm sad, stressed, or frustrated. Even if life were just pure torture, I would probably still stay alive because you only live around 80 years. I can take that. Story 37. My nephews. The vows I have given to my closest people. The promise I made to myself after my last suicide attempt. Context. I was a year into being paralyzed from the waist down due to a failed spinal surgery. The surgeon said I probably would never walk again, and I was bedridden due to the damage my back sustained. I had a T2S1 fusion, and my spinal cord was damaged from L2 to L4. Hardware broke and drifted, tearing my back to pieces from the inside, along with a MRSA infection. Most of the tissue in my back was removed, and my incision could only be closed 2/3 of the way, leaving a hole in my lower back the size of a basketball. If I could have moved, I would have grabbed anything I could have got my hands on, and I wouldn't be here right now. But because I was paralyzed, I literally could not help myself. My mind broke at that point. A few months later, I decided that as long as there was air in my lungs and blood in my veins, I would do everything in my power to cross off items on my bucket list and achieve everything I wanted before my injury. That was in 2015. In 2018, my nephew was born, and I started regaining feeling in my legs. In 2019, I stood for the first time. In 2024, I walked for the first time. Now, in 2025, I am in the hospital recovering from a total knee replacement. It is the last step on my journey to independence. I am in the best shape of my life and the healthiest I have ever been. When this knee is healed, I will be able to chase my nephews around the yard. The oldest wants to play sports, and I cannot wait to join him. Story 38. My cat, simple pleasures like coffee and tea in silence. My solitude, books, movies, podcasts, fragrances, long walks, my balcony, and my plants. As toxic as it may be, shopping for cool things is also a pleasure. Story 39. I want to look back on life and have plenty of happy memories. For that, I need to keep living for as long as I can. Story 40. I am not a very religious person, but I have faith. Half of my family is Sikh, and I was raised to believe that it is my duty to feed the hungry and ensure that people can turn to me for protection and safety. Story 41. For me, it's the little things and finding joy in small, everyday moments, even rediscovering parts of myself that I had lost, like getting back into baritanium or dreaming of learning to ride a bike. I realized life isn't just about responsibilities. It's also about embracing the things that make you feel alive. Some days are hard, but knowing there's always something new to experience keeps me going. Story 42. Being grateful and having a sense of humor are important. Purpose, family, and work-life balance contribute to well-being. I feel very depressed when I don't learn anything that stimulates me. Story 43. Debt. As much as I do not appreciate myself, there are still people who care about me and are helping me, so it would be a disservice to them to give up. I personally think I don't deserve any care, but they have a different opinion. Story 44. My girlfriend and my family support me. I am currently a paraplegic due to a spinal cord injury I sustained at the end of December 2023, specifically a T12 blast fracture. I have been experiencing ups and downs. During my lowest moments, I think about ending my life because I feel like I am causing harm to my family, as they have to adjust everything for me. I believe my girlfriend deserves better, and that it would be easier if I were no longer here. However, I remember how much they help and care for me, and I realize it would be selfish to end my life when they do so much for me. Story 45. A while back, I saw a post on Reddit about someone who thought their upstairs neighbor had died and was upset by it. The thought that my death might affect someone I don't even know was unsettling. I'm sure all my loved ones will be okay. Story 46. If my mother were no longer breathing, my grandmother and my aunts would suffer greatly. Story 47. My parents would be heartbroken if something happened to me. I also care for my cats because they deserve the best possible life. Story 48. My transition and the prospect of living as a woman with minimal sources of gender dysphoria are important to me. Engaging in relationships with other transgender women also provides support. Story 49. Weird question. You're alive, so you live. It's not like you choose every day whether to stay alive or not. That's a bit of a dark question. Story 50. I believe many individuals would prefer that I am not here anymore, and I do not want to give them the satisfaction. There is much to accomplish. Story 51. To experience love as I believe it should be. To leave a lasting impact of love on the world and the people around me. Story 52. I motivate myself. Life is a gift, and we only get one chance, so don't wait for others to encourage you to live. Do it for yourself. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.